Looks like the match is right now
Yeah.
starting. We're actually starting with Goaty Doge with the banning of their first team champion.
Yeah, it should be interesting. We haven't seen a lot of pro play or a lot of competitive play since Worlds back in October and November. So we're on kind of a different patch. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of picks come out here. We also got a new patch today with a whole bunch of different changes, which is kind of a wrench to throw at some of these teams on, on game day. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any, off meta or kind of strange picks from either of these teams. But so
Interesting.
far,
Watching right now these two bans that happen, is this because they know and they've done research on the enemy team?
it's a little bit hard to tell. Aatrox has been historically just an extremely strong character. Was almost 100% pick ban in Worlds over the last little bit. So that one could just be a respect for the champion itself. Haven't seen much of Pyke or Ezreal. So those might be more target bans coming out from the side of West Esports.
Yeah, as I say, we saw Urgot has also got a ban as well, not knowing exactly how RBV played in the last match. This is going to be interesting to know how much research they did on that previous matchup if they have been paying attention to RBV versus West Esports here tonight. Coming up with another ban. Who's it going to be?
Trundle. Yeah, very scary champion in the jungle right now. Takes lethal tempo and you just cannot kill him. He has too much regen in his kit. So definitely respectable getting that out of the way. And Goody Doge going to pick up that gangplank for his team. That's a pick that can be flexed into a few different areas, usually either top or mid. So it's a good one to start off the draft with for blue side first pick.
I'm interested to see exactly how they want to play here. It looks like they're picking here tonight their first AD carry.
Yep, Caitlyn, a very strong pick. Both Caitlyn and Hecarim very strong picks here early. Tend to do well against most comps, so they're good at the start of the draft here.
Goody Doge picking up Gangplank right here, and we don't see the enemy side, so we can't tell in this viewpoint who is Caitlyn, as well as Hecarim.
Yeah, know exactly the they'll likely get swapped around a little bit too, so we won't worry about where they're going too much here. You're going to see the Sejuani, very popular champion right now, half because they got the Victoria skin for the most recent season, so everybody's been playing Sejuani, and also because of one of the new mythic items, Heartsteel, which just allows Sejuani to be a massive tank, super beefy, and be a great initiator for the team. And the Sivir. All right, so we're kind of seeing a run at them and engage sort of comp here out of West Esports. We're going to see Sivir kind of charge the Sejuani and the Gangplank into the team, get some CC down from the Sejuani, and some barrel combos from that Gangplank.
I'm excited to see how the enemy wants to play with that. Loss of CC is going to help prevent that diving team. Let's see here. Looks like right now we have Caitlyn.
Yeah, that
Orianna aiming for a ban
is a big deal there. Great combo with the Hecarim. You can put that ball on the Hecarim and get a nice shockwave at the start of team fights. So both of these teams, honestly, kind of looking towards that team fight. We should see some explosive plays come late game.
Super excited right now. We're getting a chance to see right now. Goody Doge is now aiming to do another ban. We're going to be finalizing this entire zone, and the match will begin very soon. I'm excited to see how this plays out and who's going to be snowballing in tonight's matchup on game one.
Yeah. So you can see there, Rancho Buena on the right side is targeting out that mid lane, getting rid of the Silas there. So they're expecting that Gangplank's going to go into the top lane, and they're trying to crunch that mid lane pool, see if they can force, who I believe Shadow Clone 2 should be their mid laner, force him onto something that he's not comfortable with. All right, a couple of supports getting banned out here.
Oof.
The Pantheon getting banned out from Rancho Bueno.
Interesting.
Rancho Buena. Yeah.
Interesting ban on that part. That has to either be a West Esports play, or this is clearly they don't want that counter against them.
Yeah, definitely an aggro support. Can't really get into the range of Caitlyn too much and kind of gets poked out a little bit. Kled. Okay, so they don't want... That has to be a target ban. I haven't seen much Kled recently at all. So these teams definitely doing their research on their opposing teams and showing some respect to some of these stronger champs. Rolling into these last 4 picks here. Red side is going to have the last pick. So we'll see if they save that top lane counter pick, the last pick. And yeah, there's the support. So we will be seeing a top lane counter pick for the last pick. Renata, yet again, just kind of committing to this this team fight sort of style with that massive ult that just CCs everybody for so long.
That is amazing ult, I have to say, especially the timing, that making sure no one is inside of that entire mind.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with for sure.
If you're standing next to your Caitlyn, you just get melted. It's not fair.
Yeah. All right, and we're getting a Syndra for the mid lane. That's a pretty safe pick against Orianna. They'll most likely just be farming for most of the time. Syndra might get a little bit of lane prio there. And then the Seraphine for the last pick, it's looking like.
This is going to be a dangerous pick here, especially for this diving team, consistently landing those roots, stuns, and pop-ups. This is going to be pretty nasty. Wondering how are they going to counter?
So how do you deal with a Gangplank? There are some picks that deal with him pretty well. Rumble isn't one I initially think about. But if we're looking at the theme of just these, kind of like explosive team fights, it seems like with every pick we've gotten, it's been both teams just kind of buying in and saying, yeah, we'll team fight you. Like, this is what's going to happen. We've got Rumble ult, we've got Orianna ult, we've got Renata ult on one side, Hecarim ult as well. Like, all of those are pretty good team fight ults. And then pretty much everything that blue side has as well. Like, GP barrels are really good for team fights, Sejuani ult, Syndra AoE stuff, and then the Sivir movement speed and the Seraphine ult. Both of these teams seem like they really want to group up over objectives and scrap it out. So I'm really excited for this one.
Oof. Preparing to load on less than 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
Yeah, so we will have about 3 minutes of time here while the spectator delay catches up, just to make sure that, nobody's able to watch the stream and get any info that they shouldn't have on their opposing teams. So we'll get some nice visuals of Summoner's Rift while we wait here.
One of the things that are really cool about having the spectator delay is that means the stream is not delayed, giving us an opportunity to still be live with the Twitch chat. We're currently on the Twitch channel PlayVS, twitch.tv/PlayVS, and there's some people in the chat right now screaming West is best. You've got people that are actually showcasing him. And how many teams are here to represent who? If you guys are here for West Esports, show that in the chat as well. If you are here for RBV League of Legends, show me those RBV text messages, guys, and basically spam that across the board to show your love to each team. How many people are in the fans for which team?
Yeah, we love to see that, not only that these players are getting these opportunities and starting to have these places where they can compete and try this out for themselves, but it's also awesome to see that their friends and their teammates or maybe other teams that they've played against are here to support. And that's awesome. I love to see that.
You're having lots of people in the chat right now. Fiery Shadow with RBV going across. Lots of RBV speakers on the chat. You got a couple of West players. Looks like there's more fans for RBV here tonight.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. I think the players that I would say are going to be the difference makers, just looking at the lineups, I think we really have to watch this Hecarim on the side of RBV. It's a champion that just, if he gets ahead, he can snowball games to no end. So it'll be interesting to see.
Man. I'm going to be asking you questions throughout the entire match, wondering what just happened, how did he pull that off, and we're going to be losing our minds if we see some epic play here by both of these teams.
Yeah.
And your opinion right now, before the loadout and the 50 seconds round, what team is right now standing at the top from your perspective?
Just based on draft, I'm a little bit more afraid of red side of RBV if the game gets quite late. If we're dealing with like an Orianna in the very late game, a Rumble in the very late game, Caitlyn, like it's kind of scary. I'd say Syndra probably has with a better lane against Orianna, and Gangplank probably has a better lane against Rumble. And then I'd say that the bot lane for RBV probably has an advantage there. So it's really going to be, where can these junglers find these advantages in these lanes to kind of capitalize on those advantages that already exist.
Well said. This is going to be incredible. I am looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Now we know Team Red is going to be having more of a late game carry. Your pre-game carry will be on Team Blue, and they have to capitalize on that. The longer this goes, Team Red will be having that advantage.
Yeah, I would say that Gangplank gets pretty scary as the game goes on with those massive crit barrels that he can throw out there. But it's also very, very scary to play that way because you're generally quite low HP on Gangplank, and if you get caught in the wrong place by a Hecarim, or you get caught like by a Renata snare and you kind of get pulled out of your team, like it can be really hard to actually set up those barrels properly and set them up safely. So Goody Doge, definitely a player to watch here. See how he finds those angles.
Let's see if anybody in the chat actually can tell us more about their teams. Who on their team is cracked out of their mind? Who is your favorite player in the starting and subs lineup for Team West Esports as well as RBV? We want to see how many people are here for specific players and why. If you guys want to throw that in the chat, give us a chance to actually be excited about said players.
All right, and here we go. We are on to the Rift. 30 seconds in here. Players starting kind of grouped up here in this bush. You usually see one player kind of like fanned out across the map to watch for any invades, but maybe West Esports going for an early game play here.
Interesting to see Team Blue right now, all clumped up right now, just outside of Dragon. We're going to see how they're going to be playing this out right now. And Team Red is fully scattered across, having vision on across the entire field, not crossing that lake.
Yeah, and it looks like we're just going to get the resets here. No level 1 shenanigans, just making sure to be grouped up in case of a possible invade. Whole team is ready.
This is a good start. Looks like no one has ganked each other. We're going to see a fresh start. No first kill.
Yep, and this is kind of what you'd expect if you were watching kind of like a solo queue game. You tend to see your junglers start on the bottom side, and then the paths don't really vary until 3 or 4 minutes once they're done their full clears usually. So we'll have to see if any of these junglers tend to deviate away from that standard path that we tend to see, or whether they kind of go for what they usually do.
We're seeing both Team Blue taking Flash with Smite, and we're seeing Team Red taking Speed with Smite here. Ghost. Practical player. Going with the traditional speed route.
Yeah.
Goody Doge already taking some damage here, less than 10% HP. We're going to see Jack and Black Belt on the south lane. In the mid lane, we got Shadow Clone, and I'm Rusty too.
Yeah, and you can see Syndra kind of getting pushed in here. Not using too much mana. Bot lane is going the way of Caitlyn Renata. And this top lane, yeah, this Rumble.
Oof.
We got that last pick on Rancho Buena Vista, and I kind of thought it would go GP's way, but this Rumble showing why he was saved for this final pick.
A situation right now at top lane. Gangplank being pushed back to the tower. Cobb putting in some work, taking some damage right now, getting down to 90% HP.
That gets a good barrel there. Oh, Sejuani is coming in. A quick clear, 3 camps.
That was a close one right now. You had that jungler push the top lane and just had that opportunity to take out Rumble, but did not have the opportunity to connect.
Yeah, you do burn that flash, which means Rumble is going to be a bit of a sitting duck up there. Not a whole lot of mobility to get out of situations that could be bad for him.
Looks like you're seeing junglers trying to put in some pressure again on Rumble. They're going to the top lane. We're going to see if there's going to be a kill here.
Yep, did avoid that ward.
And it looks like this might be a kill at the top lane here. Now Bevo is putting some pressure on Cobb. It looks like he has no way of escaping. This might be the first kill, but here comes the enemy jungler putting in some pressure on Bevo. This might take out Goody Doge, but he's got to delay his escape in time, and looks like Bevo is going to be taken out here. If he can pull... There it is.
Yeah.
1 for 1.
So that was a big deal for the Gangplank. Getting first blood will help him snowball this game, but the Hecarim also got a kill, and those were the 2 players I was kind of mentioning that if they get started early, could be scary. So definitely a trade both teams are appreciating there.
It's incredible to see that both junglers are on point for each other. These teams are looking fairly even. We're seeing another advance. Down the middle, jungler is now hanging out in mid lane, trying to put in pressure. Nice stun coming from Shadow Clone. Here comes some play down in the river down south. We're going to see how these two players are going to be working together.
Yeah, just picking up the crab, getting a little bit of extra gold, a little bit of extra vision. And looks like Hecarim will just move back into his jungle.
Nice shot from Jack's point of view, trying to have that vision.
Yeah, and so far we're not seeing too many advantages in any of the lanes. This Rumble is actually still pretty far up on Gangplank and farm, but he does have that massive wave there at his turret, so he should be able to recuperate that a little bit.
Rumble at 23, Gangplank at 20 at top lane. You're seeing at mid lane right now, you've got 27 to 35.
Yeah, not too much action in the mid lane. Both of these casters just tending to farm early. Neither of them have too much explosive kill power until they can get some ability power on their hands.
Vivo taking out some of these sentries in the center right now, preventing the enemy vision being set. Junglers are doing a good job on their own. Keeping consistent. Gold count is equal against West High versus Retro Bueno.
So we're getting to the point where people can start thinking about this first dragon. It's still a little bit early, but I'd be expecting one of these teams to start trying to make plays around the bot lane to look for that and start stacking these dragons early. And with the advantage that RBV has in the bot lane, I'd expect it to be them with the Hecarim. We'll have to see whether that pans out.
Nice stun coming in right now. Shadow Clone and Vivo was trying to finish it off. It was seconds away from finishing, but I'm Rusty, bringing him down to 10% HP. Now recall.
Yeah, that was a great trade. You get the flash, you get the ultimate out of the Orianna, and you probably get the teleport as well. Probably going to have to teleport back to lane, so that Orianna's going to be out of summoner spells for the near future.
You're seeing RBV putting in some pressure down at bot lane. Chipping that damage down on Black Belt. And now we're seeing Gangplank putting in some pressure on Rumble. The tides have turned 6 minutes into the match.
Yeah, once Gangplank gets that sheen under his belt, his damage takes off, and those barrel combos are doing so much damage now to this Rumble.
It looks like right now Dragon is now being attracted. You're seeing RBV about to put pressure on. Can they get the first Dragon?
Yeah, it looks like West is just kind of going to let this one happen. Sejuani is not in a position to contest this.
Dragon's about to go down.
Get a ward, but they'll soon find out that this is being taken.
Trying to get a little steal right there. You cannot pull it off. Jack tried to pull that off.
Yeah, going over to RBV.
Looking at gold count right now, it's both equal with that buff taking from Dragon. It's going to be interesting how things shake up for the next minute or two.
Yeah, I think the biggest disparity we're seeing so far is Vivo's been around to help his lanes a lot, but his farm has definitely been suffering for it. He's down almost 30 farm to this Hecarim, who is just moseying through the jungle taking camps here. And that extra kill as well, definitely going to be scary on that Hecarim.
Mid lane's having a problem here. Oh, I apologize, not mid lane. We're looking at right now a disparity on some of the kill count. It looks like we're looking at a 61 to 33 on one of those champions. This is incredible as far as minion kills. Mid lane's pretty equal.
Yeah, these mid laners getting a little bit more aggressive here. You can see Shadow Clone moving forward and getting those Qs on the Orianna, establishing that lane dominance that we expected from that Syndra in this lane.
The two junglers right now are looking at 65 on minion count and 41 for West High School. 41-65, I'm not sure how much that does play a role, but we're going to see if it continues pushing through. But it looks like Vivo's fairly aggressive trying to support their lanes. Losing opportunity on that farm.
It's about 20 farm is about the equivalent of a kill. So we kind of think about it as the Hecarim being up like 2 kills on the Sejuani. But as you mentioned, you know, Vivo's been around to help the team out, and you can see that some of these lanes are getting some advantages off of it. That Gangplank's starting to scale, that Syndra is starting to establish dominance in the mid lane. There's a lot of things going on. Ooh, good shockwave. Just to clear the wave, make sure that that Syndra can't get a turret plate there.
Looks like Vivo right now is putting in pressure on Practical Player, pushing it back into the tower in the mid lane. Great job forcing the use his Ghost here. Not going to have it for the next play here, so that jungler will not be applying pressure on any lanes anytime soon.
Yeah, you can see Hecarim here is kind of buying into this later game scaling sort of build. Is going to go that Muramana into what will probably be a Ravenous Hydra. It's just a damage that turns Hecarim into a little bit of a glass cannon. He does so much damage.
Looks like they're actually applying pressure up north right now. Look at that in the mini-map. They might be able to steal here. West High School. Trading Dragon 4. Succeeding.
Yep. Got the Herald. I'm guessing that will be dropped in the top lane here. Get Gangplank some extra gold. And put him in a position where he can scale this game.
Looks like Bebo is right now trying to hold. Nice flash coming from Uwu seconds away from getting lifted up and getting stunned there. Nice job from Rumble repositioning himself. Bebo is now taking damage from the turret, having to reposition here.
I'm loving this pick from Cobb. A lot of attention has been put top lane, and Cobb is in a position where he's still up farm. This last pick Rumble really coming out on top for RBV here, even with all the attention top lane.
Incredible job coming in from the top lane. Cobb just heard it here. Rumble putting in the work, forcing Bebo to consistently help out Gangplank.
Not going to hit that shockwave there. Shadow Clone will get out safely. The bot lane, Caitlyn has got a little bit of a farm advantage here just by shoving in and forcing Sivir to miss some CS under turret. But not a huge advantage anywhere besides that jungle.
Sitting at the top lane right now, Uwu is at 50% HP. We're seeing Bivu just doing a really good job holding down that jungle zone, trying to get back that income disparity. 49 to 85 as far as minion count is concerned to the junglers.
Yeah, pretty slow game so far, but this is kind of what we expected with the team comps that were built out. Both of these teams just wanting those big team fights. And the next one might be around this dragon in 30 seconds. You can see Practical Player on that Hecarim. Lurking around the dragon, being ready. Might try and punish Shadow Clone here.
Oh no, Shadow Clone will go down. And it looks like Bivu coming in with a huge save right now. Practical Player has to retreat. I'm Rusty 2 at 10% HP. And is out for the count. Nice shot from Bivu, but it looks like Bivu will get killed here thanks to the turret finishing him off.
Yeah, that was a lot. Definitely getting that kill with that flash ult, but West High School in a position where they don't have their jungler for the dragon that is just coming up. So Hecarim gonna trot on down there and see what he can do.
And that's happening just right now. Looks like he's trotting down to the dragon. We're going to see how does Hecarim want to play this out. Respawn is happening. And you're seeing both teams are now pushing into the dragon. You're seeing mid lane pushing over to the dragon as well. There's going to be a lot of pressure down south. We're going to see a bottom lane scuffle in just a second.
Yeah, and we have to mention that RBV, both their mid lane and their top lane, have their teleports up. So if a fight does break out here, the whole team can converge around this dragon, but it looks like they might just be resetting and allowing West to take this if they please. But instead, they're looking mid lane.
And it looks like Bivo with a stun onto Rusty. There's no way Rusty's going to be leaving this one. It's going to be a full kill over to Shadow Clone. Nice work from Bivo assist.
Yeah, very clean gank there. Syndra hitting that Luden's Tempest power spike. That is going to secure them the dragon. I like that. It's a little bit greedy in the sense that, you know, you kind of had the opportunity to take the dragon.
I don't know if this is going to be a secure right now. You're seeing them coming from the back. It looks like RBV is going to be putting in some pressure. They might basically do some work here. But they're out of position with the huge ult coming in from Jack. Let's see how this is going to turn out. Looks like they're 4 against 3 here in the bot lane. Lots of work is happening, and it looks like it goes down right there. Generic lane gets killed by Shadow Clone, and they're going to take a dragon with 2 kills from the mid and bot. This is a huge win coming in for West High School.
Yeah, that was huge. Just kind of like playing with fire a little bit by not taking the dragon early, allowing RBV to come back and actually contest it, but then punishing them hard for overstepping without the right amount of people. So that's a very solid move for West, equalizing the amount of dragons that have been taken here, and getting some kills on the board.
Unbelievable from this team here. Bivu putting in that pressure, even low on minion count, still is applying that pressure in the right place at the right time. Great job from West High School's jungler team here.
Absolutely. Top lane has still been mostly just them farming it out. Both of these champions so scary in the late game. That was a fight with only 3 people from each team, and it was that explosive. So think about adding 2 more champions on either side. These late game team fights are going to be scary for both of these teams. Positioning is going to be so crucial.
Traditional timing on when late game begins, do you know that timing average?
It just kind of depends on how much gold is being put into both teams. So because there haven't been a ton of kills, it'll probably be a little bit later, but all of these champions farming up well, so they're trying to progress towards that late game as fast as possible. And Bevo just making all of these picks.
Fantastic job. Looks like Bevo has taken out the protagonist, and looks like Shadow Clone is also taken out, is on a killing spree, putting in some work, taking out mid lane for mid lane. This is going to be incredible to see.
Yeah, this is scary. All of the lanes now for RBV are a little bit behind. Bevo showing that even if he might be a little bit down on farm,
looks like Shadow Clone is going to be completely harassed here by Practical Player. There's another fight happening in the bot lane as well, and it looks like Generic Name is going to go down for the count. They held down that attack right there, giving Black Belt that final kill. Great job coming from back. Jack the support as well as Bivu.
Yeah, it's getting scary with all of these kills happening across the map. RBV wants to step up and they want to get gold. They want to make sure that they can scale towards that late game, but they're getting punished at every opportunity.
How can RBV make a comeback here with a 7-2 disparity?
It's a little bit scary. Hecarim has to be able to make things happen because a lot of the gold that they've invested has been into this Hecarim. But it's hard because you don't really have any great places to take advantage of or try and make a gank happen when your whole side of the map is kind of a little bit behind right now.
Looks like West High School is going to be taking another win here at the top.
Yeah, and that should be progressing them towards another turret. They already took the first turret of the game, which gives that bonus gold. You can see this gold lead is already 5,000 gold. That's a pretty sizable lead for only 16 minutes into the game, and that Herald is probably going to make it even more so. So we're going to soak up this wave here in the bot lane. RBV not in a bad spot by any means, but they're going to have to play these fights very, very well. These team fight ultimates often have a lot more value if you can get them on a lot of people. Sometimes even when you're down this much gold, you can turn fights in your favor with just massive ultimates.
So you're see some pressure down in the mid right now. You're seeing here Bivu coming through, trying to get on Rusty, trying to pop him up. Looks like right now Practical Player once again coming through, trying to put in pressure back on Bivu. And it looks like I'm Rusty is going to try to put a super... Oh, instantly gets deleted down to 1 HP. And Shadow Clone is on a rampage now, ladies and gentlemen, with a 4-0. This is going to be tough right now. An 8-2 win for West High Schools. 17 minutes in.
Yeah, and that's the scary part about this Hecarim build. It's great when you can get ahead and you can make those kills happen, but it's so squishy too. So that Syndra taking advantage of that and just exploding him.
And it looks like Bivu is actually diving into the turret, trying to shut down Rusty. Fantastic job. Bivu does survive here, taking 2 shots from the turret, and they're going to be taking that mid lane turret. There's no one around to stop them, and they're going to continue pushing to the final turret. Practical Player is right now going to do his best to hold down that mid lane, waiting for I'm Rusty to respawn here in 18 seconds.
Yeah, we're definitely getting some scrapping here in the bot lane. West trying to put on a little bit of pressure here.
I take it back. Looks like Practical Player is going to be applying pressure down south, trying to secure these 2 kills on Black Belt and Jack here. We're going to see how they're going to be playing it out. Jungle is waiting for an opportunity, seeing if they're going to be pushing, and it's going to be a missed opportunity here.
Yeah, you can see they're trying to clear out that vision, but they just have so many wards in that area. If Hecarim even stood up here... Oh, that was a great ultimate.
Coming in from Jack, it's unbelievable. Looks like Omni Protagonist is down. Here comes Practical Player trying to do some work. Nice work taking out the Protagonist. I'm the Protagonist and taking out 1. Can he take out 2 here on Jack? I don't think he's going to be pulling that off here.
Yeah, that Hecarim ult was seconds away from coming up. Did not have it available.
Bivu going in again and taking on Rusty too. Oh my god! This is unbelievable, and they're gonna have that final kill going after this final push into the center, and it's gonna be game 1 gonna go to West High Schools here, taking out that inhibitor, and this was an incredible game 1, unless if somehow they can hold.
Yeah, probably won't be able to end just yet. That Herald is going to die on that tower, but it's scary to lose an inhib this early.
Oh. It looks like they took out the middle tower by 50%. They did not want to claim more work here, but they're going to be trying to take out Unpractical Player and the Dragon at the same time. Blue team has stolen this Infernal Drake. This is going to hurt a lot, and Practical Player goes down, and Shadow Clone with another kill. Mid lane is dominating at 6-0.
Yeah, that's probably going to spell doom for RBV here. You spend all that time doing the Drake and have Sejuani just stroll on by and smite it away from you. You just save them a lot of time actually doing the dragon, and you end up dying for it. It's quite unfortunate for RBV.
Still opportunities are up. RBV can make a comeback if they decide to hold down the line, make enough gold so they can actually have that end game team fight, but they're going to have to hold as long as they can. This is not 100% over yet. But it is looking dire for RBV.
Yeah, RBV, if they can make it to that late game, that is what is going to save them here, but they just have so many snowballing threats to deal with on West. Syndra picking up that Mage Eyes, throwing down the gauntlet and saying, you're not going to kill me this game, I'm going to keep on stacking this.
Because you said it earlier that this is going to be end game, late game for Team Red, and you see right here Team Blue has put in that pressure in the pregame to prevent that late game snowballing from Team Red, and they did a great job of holding it down.
Yeah, a little bit of a spectator bug there that happens. It kicks the spectator out to lobby when the game ends, rather than actually finishing out the game. But we kind of knew where that one was going after that team fight.
True.
And West High School is going to finish off that game.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I'm on to let you guys know right now, West Esports is right now leading this tournament 1-0. This is a best of 3 championship matchup here in League of Legends. We've got Lewis SK here. How are you doing, Lewis?
Not too bad. We are going to get into this this draft here. You will notice that the teams have swapped sides. So we are going to be getting RBV on the blue side here, which means that West will actually have that final last pick. So we'll have to see how they use that last pick. We're immediately seeing RBV get rid of that Sejuani. They do not want to deal with that champion anymore after Bevo just steamrolled them with it, ignoring towers, ignoring champions, just CC, making sure that his team needs to be, or is where they need to be.
They cannot understand.
Excited to see exactly how these bands are going to make out compared to the first round that we saw here. Now we're getting a chance to see RBV's pick for the final, and we're going to see how does West Esports want to counter. We were talking off stream a little bit about how RBV could have taken advantage of that top lane, and a lot of people in the chat are trying to say that top lane should have done better. Uwu Cobb did not basically perform at that level. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and it wasn't even that Cobb didn't perform at a high level, because I thought that in the lane he looked really, really good. It's just a little bit, it's a lot of pressure to be that last pick, that counter pick, and it didn't look like it had the impact that they wanted it to. Whereas West Esports on the red team here, they're just going to keep their bans the exact same. They say, hey, it worked for us last time, we're not dealing with these champions. Whereas RBV has definitely had to show a little bit more respect to that Syndra and that Sejuani. Getting a Nautilus first pick here out of RBV.
We're going to see how this is going to turn out. Nautilus we did not see in game 1. Here we go.
Yeah, definitely a safe pick. Goes with a lot of different laners. It's a good blue side first pick here. Doesn't show too much about your team comp either. Okay, and we're going to see that Gangplank again here for Goody Doge.
Bevo's coming in right now with another pick.
Yeah, it could be flex to the mid lane, but I imagine we'll see that Gangplank go top lane again. Hovering between a Maokai and a Morgana here. I'm assuming that's for support, but with the new jungle changes, there have been some jungle Morganas floating around there. And the fact that they were swapping between the Maokai and the Morgana makes me feel like they were trying to make people think it was a support. Maybe I'm too big braining this, but I think that might actually be a jungle Morgana. We'll have to see how it pans out. It would certainly
Is it often
fit.
to see a jungle Morgana? Is that something you see in the top?
It's definitely a bit off meta, but people have been doing it in solo queue, which is where I've seen it.
Oh lord, we're gonna see Viego come in here. This is gonna be nasty if Viego can pop off at the end. Oh
yeah,
Lord.
Viego, and we're hovering a Cho'Gath. Nope, we're going to a Lux.
Looks like Rusty wants to go with the Lux here, I believe. No, he switches last second.
Okay, this is a scary pick. One of the new items that was introduced in the preseason patch is called Heartsteel. It just allows, it's actually what Sejuani built last game, just allows you to get massive amounts of health. And Shen has a lot of abilities that scale off of his max health, so he is in a great position in that top lane. He can also dodge out the Gangplank barrels and the Gangplank shot with his W. So that's a matchup that Shen might actually be able to scrap a little bit with. And we're seeing that Vi.
Oh man, this is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing who they're going to be banning next. Right now, we're going to see West Esports for their next ban. 4th ban incoming.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of research on the players themselves, and I did see that some of the players from RBV, or sorry, from West High School were playing some weird kind of like off-meta stuff in the bot lane. They were playing like some Vi Pantheon in the bot. So it's really actually hard to tell where some of these champions are going. You might originally think Vi jungle, Morgana support, and it still could be that. But they have a lot of flexibility going into the second phase of draft, and I think that's great for West High School.
As well?
Here we go with the 4th ban coming in for RBV, taking out Caitlyn. One of the same champions that they use themselves. They do not want to go against it.
Yeah, they don't want to deal with that Caitlyn, and it looks like West High School doesn't want to deal with the Orianna.
Their own champion. Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't even know what to say right now. Is that typical, where you ban your own champion that you're not going to take yourself?
No. Sorry, that was RBV, who played Orianna.
Correct. I'm so sorry. Mistake.
So they are banning their opponent's champion, but it's interesting because it didn't feel like they had any problems with that champion. They felt like they dealt with it quite well. So it's interesting to see them ban that.
DK Black Belt is now picking the next one here. It looks like a Vayne is going to be picked. Oh, switched over. And it's going to be Ashe here.
Okay. I'm going to massive brain this. That is an Ashe support. A Morgana jungle and a Vi ADC.
Shut up. There's no way.
They keep on doing the thing where they're flipping between champions, and there's not really a reason to do that unless you're actually trying to give your opponent the wrong info. I think this might be some like mega brain stuff, or I'm just out to lunch, but we'll have to see.
Here comes Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx, definitely a hyper carry, which is needed. You've got a couple of beefcakes there in Shen and Nautilus, but you need some damage. Where are you going to see in the mid lane? Need a little bit more damage here to go alongside that Jinx.
How does West Esports want to counter this last pick here? We're going to see this right now. Akali. Ooh.
Yasuo. Okay, this might... Okay, maybe I'm crazy. I think it's probably just Vi jungle, Yasuo mid with this pick.
Okay.
Vi has really good ganks for Yasuo because hitting with that charged up Q counts as a knockup. Here's the Pantheon! Again. Oh wait, hey, so they were practicing this. This might be the Vi Pantheon bot lane, Morgana jungle. I actually have no idea. We'll wait and see where they swap things around to. But they were playing Vi Pantheon in the bot lane. But it looks like we're getting the Vi in the jungle and the Pantheon in the mid lane.
It's going to be interesting to see how they actually pull this off, but I'm very curious to see how does West Esports want to play this out. You're seeing this right now. Lucas is making that call out. If it turns out Morgana is going to be in the jungle.
No, I don't think they're going to do it.
It's not going to be the jungle. I'll be like, wow.
Stick the Vi in the jungle. This makes sense.
Okay.
It's a lot of CC and a lot of damage coming out from that mid-top side of West High School here. And this is definitely not a game that they really need to go to late game. Ash is really strong early. Morg has Snare early, which makes for a lot of really good picks. And then between Vi and Pantheon, they just have so much early game CC that they are going to want to be fighting.
All right, we're going to be sitting here for the next 3 minutes. This is going to be similar to a streamer delay, letting the team start up, and then we're going to get a chance to cast this out. Before we go any further, I want to learn more about the Game 1. Who was your opinion of the MVP of Game 1?
I think it has to be... it's hard to pick between Bevo and Shadow Clone. Shadow Clone with just the massive game on the Syndra, picking up that Magi, is getting 11 kills, no deaths. Just such a strong performance there. But also Bevo was the one that helped facilitate all of those plays, make sure that, Shadow Clone was actually safe to step forward and take those aggressive trades. So
I
both
agree
of them,
with your statement as well. I would say Bevo is probably that champion, that one player that made that difference with a 20 to 25 gap minion disparity going against Practical Player as far as their two jungles are concerned. Coming in with that disparity, still putting in that work on all lanes. Incredible job from Bevo.
Yeah. As far as this game goes, RBV is definitely playing that style where they have to get to that late game again. Jinx not the strongest champion early, neither is Viego. So these champions are going to want to scale up and then use that Shen in the late game to make these plays happen and protect that Jinx and turn her into the hyper carry that she can be.
With the current draft that we're seeing right here, who's going to be owning that late game and that pre-game?
Definitely early game for West High School here, and definitely late game for RBV. So West High School kind of throwing down the gauntlet here and saying, we want this championship. We're going to take this game too. We're going to take it quickly.
You're saying that right now. Team Red is going to be looking to end this soon. And if they can hold on, you're seeing that RBV and Team Blue is going to try to enjoy that late game advantage. And how this is going to turn out, West High School has that opportunity to take this risk here, to put in that pressure. And I don't think it's much of a risk. This is a solid team comp coming in from West High School. Is that correct?
Yeah. The only thing that's a little bit of potentially an issue is they just don't have a lot of magic damage. They have Morgana, which is a little bit of magic damage, but if it gets to later game and all of the members on RBV are able to, get a little bit of armor, the damage for West High School is going to fall off significantly because they don't have to build armor and magic resist. They can just focus the one. So that would be my only issue with the comp, is just they have a lot of AD threats. But AD threats tend to be a lot stronger in the early game, so as long as they play to that style and they snowball the game, they should be fine. But I do feel like they're on a little bit of a timer.
I'm excited to see how Viego is going to be playing this out, constantly just jumping between each champion and putting that pressure with his ulti. I haven't had a chance to see a Viego do well in the previous matches that I've watched, but now I'm excited to see this championship matchup with RBV representing Viego. Practical Player used to be, I believe the jungler for RBV is what again?
The jungler is, for RBV, is Practical Player.
Okay, so it will be Practical Player again. So it will be Viego jumping around and doing that work. Let's see how this is going to turn out. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like that's the kind of style of champion that Practical Player goes to, starting with that Hecarim, and now moving to this Viego. Likes these carry junglers where he can kind of pop off. And I would be afraid if he picked up any of the champions on West High School with how much damage they're going to have early, how much CC they're going to have early. Oh my goodness, RBV going for an early invade here.
Early invade, yeah, we're seeing it right there in the center. RBV putting in pressure, going across the lake, standing by at blue buff. And we're seeing 4 champions down south and 1 champion up above for West.
They're going to miss each other completely. It looks like West High School is going into the enemy jungle on the bot side.
This could be dangerous right now. You have only 4 champions for West High, and they're going to be pulling up north, and they're going to be colliding each other. Ooh, Cobb is going to be seeing the first champion. He's going to be getting ganked here. Oh, it looks like he's not going to get
Shadow
ganked.
Clone is in the top lane, so they don't actually want to fight this. They're just going to back up. They don't want to take the 4v5. And it looks like RBV is also gonna... Well, they're gonna start the blue buff, so they are going to commit to that.
This is gonna be dangerous right now. They're gonna be checking blue buff right now. All 5 champions are moving into blue buff, and I'm the protagonist and practical player are out of position. Generic name is going to retreat here. Bivu is putting in pressure. It's gonna be 4 versus 2 here, and they're gonna have to retreat, and they're gonna lose 1. First blood going to their whole team.
That is scary. That's exactly what you want if you're West High School here. You have the early advantage. You get a kill on your Vi, which, you know, if you thought Sejuani was disrupting the game, this Vi is going to be disruptive with that early kill.
Is crazy right now. At the very beginning, you're seeing a 2.6 gold disparity at the 2-minute mark. West High School with a huge increase, about 800 gold. See how this plays out for the next couple minutes here.
I like this a lot, by the way, from West High School as well. They've taken their Pantheon, who is supposed to be mid lane, and their Gangplank, who's supposed to be top lane, and they've flipped them. Pantheon already kind of dominating the Shen, and the Gangplank can just use his parlay, his Q, and just Q the Kali over and over, and put her in a really rough spot where she has a hard time laning. So I like that swap a lot from West High School here.
You're seeing right there at the very top, Uwu Cobb was putting some pressure on the Gangplank and was taking that entire match in the pregame. But now Pantheon is just saying, I'm coming in. Shadow Clone, who was mid lane, is now at top lane, telling Cobb that you're not going to stand a chance here. You cannot basically bully my teammate. And he's putting that pressure to bring him down to 30% HP and force him to use that potion.
Yeah, a lot of pressure here early on from the Pantheon. Nautilus going to get a hook here. Shouldn't amount to too much. They've got CC to deal with.
Great job from Generic Name putting that damage pressure. Jack is going to be having at 50% HP. Black Belt as well at 60. Mid lane Scuffle seems to be neutral. Both junglers are doing a good job. Shadow Clone already getting closer to the turret. And we're going to see some turret pressure here, or we're going to see him retreat.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to take a little bit of a cheater recall there. Maybe he's going to stick around. Alright, Pantheon is going to stick around in the top lane. Is calling Bevo up here for a gank. So we're seeing Halo Blades on the Vi and press the attack on the Pantheon. There's just so much burst damage there. Doesn't look like they're going to go
right now
it.
in the top. Trying to make a play, I believe, on him. It looks like Uwu Cobb is going to probably get shut down here if we can see Vi show up here. Vi is slowly making its way. Not sure exactly how Vi is going to be positioning himself for this kill on Uwu Cobb. And it looks like Shadow Clone with a kill right there, making it a 2-0 for West High School. Unbelievable job coming in from Shadow Clone.
Pantheon just such a scary champion in the early game. Has that guaranteed crit strike on his Q when his enemies are low health. So just going in and popping Uwu Cobb and having that Vi in the background to support in case something went wrong. Like that play a lot from West High School.
Here comes some pressure right now on Rusty too, putting in pressure on Bivu.
Yeah, Bevo kind of just like strolling through and dealing a casual 300 damage or so to the Akali and taking almost no damage in return. Making his presence known on the map.
Still doing good with the minion count. And you're seeing Diego is now equalizing. That is an interesting dynamic right now. Diego should be ahead. But Vi clearly has equal minion count here.
Yeah, Vi has that really fast clear time, especially with that early kill that she got. So even though she's been out on the map a little bit more.
And it looks like it's going to be finished right there. Black Belt is going to be seeing a 3 versus 1. They all stopped attacking to give Generic that final attack, that final kill. For increased gold count. Nice job from these teams here.
Yeah, and that's what you need if you're RBV. You need to start, equalizing this and getting yourself to that late game. If they're trading 1-for-1, in general, that's going to be better for RBV because that's going to help accelerate them into the late game. So very clean there from RBV.
Vi, Bevo, as well as Viego doing a good job, practical player. Standing at equal numbers as far as gold count, except for that first kill that we saw in the beginning of the match for West High School. How is their buys going to be playing right now? Looks like Viego is going to try to continue playing pressure. Hasn't gone back yet. And Akali is still standing by as well in the mid lane. Still has not gone back. Level 6. And
those barrels are so threatening. Kelly cannot step up into those barrel ranges.
Can see her.
Oh,
Rusty's going to have to push up past the barrel.
We'll get that barrel. Big wave here. Gangplank can't really step up.
It looks like we might see Vi try to gank Akali here, but it looks like he pushed back off. Vi moving into Viego's territory. And it looks like they might be seeing a fight between junglers here. And no, it looks like they're going to go for Cobb at the top lane. Vi is actually putting in some interesting moves here. Might see Viego. Viego is about to go back, and they might see a Vi versus Viego pressure down happening. Ooh. And it looks like they're pushing away, and Viego is going to be putting in that top lane pressure with their team here. It's going to channel again. Vi's going to be tickling him.
Yeah, Bevo just kind of being a nuisance here. Keeping Practical Player having to refresh his back over and over again. That's going to buy West High School a little bit of time where they don't have to worry about that Viego.
We're seeing in the bottom lane. Oh, it looks like we had another stun, another combo coming in for Shadow Clone. Jitsu putting in that pressure. Akali and Gangplank doing some work still in the middle. And it seems like Gangplank is winning by a 10 minion count, which is not that far apart.
Yeah, so yet again, we're getting to the point where we should start seeing these dragons, and it looks like that's where Vi is about to move after taking this blue buff. If you're West and you're trying to scale, or you're trying to get this game ended as soon as possible, you have to start taking these dragons as early as possible too, so you can move towards that dragon soul.
Practical Player is now moving towards the dragon just to confirm your thoughts here. Feels like they can read our minds. Here they go. Putting in some sentry, some wards down in the center to make sure they do not have that dragon advantage. RBV
yeah,
doing a good
both
job.
Thinking about it. All right, both of these bot lanes getting close to that level 6 mark where things get explosive for both of these bot lanes.
It's going to get a little spicy soon. That's what I'm looking forward to see. Who's going to be diving who's going to be taking out the bottom lane. They've been very careful with each other. Jack is right now seeing some pressure coming from on the protagonist, and it looks like we're seeing Viego also getting pressured by an amazing pull coming, but a death happens on generic named Shadow Clone with a kill, and they're going to see another kill by Jack on the protagonist. 4 players coming down south and put in pressure and having to now take a free dragon here for their team. Akali having to recall going back to town. That was incredible coming in from West High School.
Yeah, so it ends up only... just everybody got involved in that fight. The Pantheon ult came down, the Shen ult was channeling, but actually they managed to burst out the person who Shen was ulting, so he didn't get that TP off, which made such a big deal. And then, of course, Bevo, always being in the right place at the right time, had that level 6 and the Viego didn't, which just turned that fight right around. So great fight from West High School there, and we'll take that dragon here and start stacking those.
Unbelievable. At the 9-minute mark, we're seeing a 5-1 disparity. West High School taking this lead here with a 17k gold count compared to a 13k gold count for RBV. RBV once again feeling that pressure. We know West High School is going to have a early game pressure, and they're doing a good job with that early game pressure. Late game team is going to come for RBV if they can just hold on tight.
Alright, some trades here in the mid lane. Akali getting to the point where she might actually start being able to trade some of this back. Will pop the Ignite, but does not get the ult off. Isn't going to chase that Pantheon down. Yet again, Pantheon's so scary when you're at low health with those guaranteed crits.
And it looks like right now Cobb is going to put in some pressure on that Gangplank at the top. Viego's coming through. Vi is actually about to meet up with Viego. There's going to be a fight happening between Viego and Vi here soon. Having to retreat right now.
Yeah, that Viego isn't in any position to fight Bevo. Bevo, if he finds Viego in that jungle... Ooh, yeah, gets the rocket!
Unbelievable, you just saw it. Just see generic name shutting down. Unbelievable shot coming from across the world. Doing a great job. Jinx's ulti finishing off Shadow Clone. I did not expect that. We did not basically see that attack come through, and it made it happen in time. Ash with an arrow going across the field, missing that shot.
Yeah, this is exactly what RBV needs. They need this little breath of fresh air, getting another shutdown on the Jinx. And Bevo making a bit of an error there, trying to get the blue buff rather than trying to, actually fight the Viego. So it took too much damage and couldn't actually get out safely.
Viego right now versus Gangplank, and it looks like it's going to go down. Goody Doge takes that kill. And here comes another move. Oh no, Rusty goes through the wall. Oh no, this is not good. Doge is going to be having to take out Rusty. Cobb is going to try slowing him down. It's not going to be possible. There's a taunt slow. And it looks like Cobb will get killed in the process by saving I'm Rusty.
Oh, and this Gangplank is massive. He has had all the free farm in the world in the mid lane, and now he's moved back up into the top lane, farming against the Shen. He is at almost double the Shen's farm. If I'm Shen in this game, and suddenly a Gangplank is walking into my lane with double my farm, I don't know what I can do at that point.
I would start praying to my team if they could actually do something here. You cannot do a 1v1 against that champion, and it looks like we're going to see Viego is going to be completely collapsed on 3 players coming in from West High. They dropped everything to go after that Viego. Bivu is going to continue putting in that slow, and they're going to catch Viego, and he does not know how many enemies are coming in. There's the stun! What the? Unbelievable. Cobb is going to be going down with an incredible Ash stun. Practical Player is now going down the Shadow Clone. They could have had that opportunity to leave in time, but that random timing on that stun made that opportunity for them for that kill. Great job from Ash coming in from nowhere. Black Belt with that huge assist.
Yeah, the Shen was not expecting that coming out of that ult. You know, full health, 2k health-ish Shen. Just getting Ash ulted coming out of that ult. That is, yeah, unfortunate. Which also means that he doesn't actually get to farm. The Shen is not having the game that he wants to have here.
This is incredible right now. We're seeing in the center, Gangplank is going to be going against Akali and another champion here. Gangplank is at 120, 127. Jinx for RBV is at 106. When we're looking at the gold disparity, a good 7k lead is happening for West High School. RBV trying to hold on a 3-9.
7k is scary. If this was like a 3 or a 4k gold lead, you know, I'd say that they are handling the kind of comp from West all right, but it's starting to slip away from them. I think this dragon is going to be pretty important. The fight has to go well for RBV.
Checking out all lanes right now. Cobb versus Shadow Clone in the top lane. Mid lane, you're going to see Jack.
Yeah, and that's not what you want to see. Your Viego is level 7, lower level than the enemy support. When you have a carry jungler like that and they're behind, it feels really bad if you're RBV here.
Tough situation. They're pinging right now in the middle for Viego, trying to hold that turret here. Viego already putting some pressure on Bivu, does not get hit by the turret, and they are going to see some massive monster damage finishing off that turret once and for all. I'm Rusty, protagonist and practical player in the mid lane, stopping that from being shut down. Nice work on their teams here.
Yeah, denying that first turret for at least a little bit, but it looks like... Okay, yeah, they're just going to move on over to the dragon. They're not going to worry about that first turret gold quite yet. Can always collect on that later.
Jinx in the south lane. It looks like practical player is going to see, has plenty of vision now. It's going to try to snipe it. And he pull it off in time. And it looks like they did. No, they did not snipe it. It looks like it. Red team has taken Dragon, and practical player and protagonist are going to be eliminated here. Rusty is also stuck inside, and they have gotten 3 kills. Generic name is also going to be finished off here if he does not have any escapes. Black
has flash and cleanse, but I think, yeah, you're dead there. Yeah, I think that's exactly what needed not to happen. I think if you're RBV there,
my God, we just saw Shadow Clone finalizing it with that ace coming in. 14-3, West High School with a huge lead. This is a tough situation, taking out turrets. The top lane turret's going down, the bottom lane turret's going down, the mid lane turret just went down. They have plenty of farm to go push. And West High School is looking fairly well in the 15-minute mark of this match. My hands are on my face to explain the intensity here.
Yeah, I think as far as that dragon fight goes, like, you can afford to just let West High School have that dragon if you want. You either have to have like a big team fight and try and make sure that your Jinx has the opportunity to pop off, or you just need to give up the dragon. And they kind of did like the in-between, where they tried to steal it and then turn it into a fight, so they didn't get the dragon, then they also didn't have the proper conditions for a good fight for Jinx. So a little bit unfortunate there from RBV. West going to capitalize and turn this into an 11k gold lead.
I'm going to say right now, if RBV makes a comeback victory on this best of 3, that means if West High School takes this win, it's officially over. They will be the official champions here tonight. But if RBV makes a comeback victory, I will lose my voice for the rest of the week by screaming about how intense this match is going to become. RBV still has that opportunity. They have better late game champions, but you can just see the goal disparity and how much of a snowball West High School is receiving since that first kill, the 4 versus 2 blue buff fight that we saw in the beginning. That's where everything went downhill.
Yeah, if you're looking at the side of RBV, only 2 players have finished items. But if you're looking at the side of West...
Oh, Uwukong just taking 50% HP right there. Shadow Clone is going to finish him up. There's no turret nearby. Oh, nice splash coming in from Uwukong. Then it looks like Diego is going to try to do something here. No, and it looks like Morgana with a stun. Jack is going to be taking out Uwukong with a great misty resistance here. The protagonist might be able to kill, but there's nobody there to assist. Our protagonist is not going to have to retreat thanks to Bevo, and Goody Doge is going to finish off on the protagonist with a killing spree. This is insane.
All right, so with where we are right now, West is actually going to be the winner of that game. They won the game as it was happening. We actually don't have a way to get back into that lobby, so we're not going to see the end of that game, unfortunately. But big congratulations to West High School. You know, they just look dominant in that series. That top side of the map, that combo of Bevo and... oh my goodness, names are slipping from me. Bevo and Goody Doge and Shadow Clone, the 3 of them in both of those games, just taking over the map and making plays literally
did also
everywhere.
a good job too, even though they didn't really stand out as much as we saw top and mid lane with Jungler. They didn't farm. They didn't give away their position. They were consistent, and that's what we want from bot lane. We don't want bot lane to be aggressive. We want bot lane to stay consistent and have that mid to end game support. And so you got to give some credit over to West Esports team, as well as I think RBV's bot lane did a good job. They both were fairly passive as far as what we've seen. But we did see a sub coming in for Jake into the starting lineup for West High School, substituting... wait, did Jake or Jack?
No, actually, you're thinking of Jack for Seraphine.
Okay,
yeah, they're just a little bit close.
Jack on the subs. It was Jack again. Okay, so they didn't make that sub. And the starting lineup for West High School... coming in for that team win was Jack, Bivu, Goody Doge, TK Black Belt 0805, and Shadow Clone 2 for the first win and also the second win. Both of these amazing teams coming at each other, making it a 2-0 best of 3, taking that championship victory for the Play versus Fall 2022 High School Championship Esports win for League of Legends. Congratulations to you guys for the California region. We can proudly give West Esports that W. Congratulations over to Daisy Kim, the coach here tonight, as well as the subs, Jake and Jamin, making sure that they're ready to go step onto the field whenever ready. And also, massive, basically, shakedown coming in for the 16, going up to the final championship fight over the West High School. RBV did a great job coming into these finals, but you saw West Esports just scaled too quickly and taking that W. Congratulations to both teams here, but the win goes over to West Esports.
Yeah, and thank you guys all for sharing this with us too in the Twitch chat. Super sorry about the ISP issues, but I'm happy that we were able to get that good game and a half in with you guys. And big thanks yet again to PlayVS for putting this event on and for supporting, you know, high school esports. We appreciate that a lot. So thank you.
100%. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to everybody who actually was in the Twitch chat live here with us tonight and cheering on your teams. You guys are really making it happen. And I'll see you guys next time.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Archie, as well. It was a pleasure casting with you.
You too, buddy. You were killing it every step of the way. Basically the meta champion here tonight. Listen, Lewis, SK, thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, well, we'll leave you guys with that.